natin ang Isabela. Kasama rin natin si Maui. Hello, Maui. Ang itatawag na natin sa'yo ngayon. Stable. O ay stable na. We survival ng death, both after that. Patuloy natin pag-praise Maui. The Lord is going to be done for him. At we don't have any first-time visitors. Brother James, yan, okay. Patik po kami sa Gimaras na umalis kami sa bahay mga alas 2 sa madaling araw. Monday na yun, madaling araw. At habang nasa ere, sisimula akong pumuputok yung araw. Ang ganda kong tingnan pala pag-break, nag-break down. Paalis yung dilim, parating yung liwanag, ganda kong tingnan sa taas. And we had a good flight, papunta roon. Hindi mo makaramdaman yung takot, dahil wala ka halos pakita. Maganda naman po yung paglapag at sakali sa paglapag. Yun lang pagbalik, medyo nakakahilo. Nag-jerk yung airplane. Kasi nangyayari pa rin air traffic. Minsan may kasalubong. Nahihilo ako ng scroll. Biglang taas ang ganon. Nakakatakot talaga. Biglang gumanon. Alam mo kung ano lang. Nag-apologize yung captain. Sabi niya, sorry for the sudden jerk. Pero kasalubong, plano. Hindi niya siguro agad nakita. So, hindi lang pala sa lupa ng babanggaan, pwede magbanggaan din sa area. Because they follow specific rules. At nangyari naman, maganda ang resulta ng conference. At sa sobrang ganda, sa ka-excited ng mga taga-ron, nag-set daw sila ng panibagong schedule. At yan ho, sa September. At ang maganda ho rito sa September, ito po ay i-hold sa Bacolod City. At meron na hong place. Libre ang place. Libre ang auditorium. Libre tulugan. So, kahit 2 days. Sa nila 2 days. Baka mahaba-haba. Ito mga sa akin. So, yung pagkain na lang mo, pinag-uusapan kung paano yung nakakainin ng 2 araw. So, ito na lang po natin, Lumibatin doon ng mga Pentecostals, Assembly of God, Pentecostals, Fundamental Baptist, Reformed Presbyterian, at yung grupo natin, pero mas ngayon, medyo civilized ang pagtinig mo ngayon. Hindi masyadong mainit kasi sa bulod na tao na, sabi nila, gusto mo nilang masundan ulit, So, pray mo natin yan, God's will will be done, at materialize. Si Brother Jethro was able to attend, and we will try to invite Pastor Mendoza for this 2-day event. So, pag-pray mo natin. Isa ko sa na-take up dun sa Gimaras, itong conference, yun ang different translations. So, although nahapyawan ko lang po rito yun, meron 2 klaseng translation sa Bible. Yung form-based, saka yung meaning-based. Alala pa rin yun. Yun ang mga Bibles na stricto sa form, ang tamang gulo ay form-based. They strictly follow the literal meaning and form as much as possible. At ang mga example ng mga form-based Bible, FBB. Ang mga example mo niyan is the King James Version. Sa Tagalog, ang highly literal, straight sa form-based sa Tagalog ay yung ang Biblia. Yan po ang ilan sa mga form-based Bible. Isa pang klase ng translation, yun yung meaning-based. Ang meaning-based, hindi siya masyadong nag-dwell sa form, kundi yung kahulugan na mismo. Sa kalimbawa niyan, doon sa Amos, Pero verse Amos, nagsabi doon, I will give them cleanness of teeth, di ba? So yung Hebrew word sa cleanness, hindi ko na maalala kung ano yung Hebrew word doon. Pero ang counterpart niya sa English is cleanness. Kung ipapalo mo yung kanyang form. Cleanness. Pero, hindi natin agad-agad maunawaan kung anong ibig sabihin ng cleanness. So ang meaning pala ng term na cleanness is what? Famine, di ba? Pag sinabing cleanness of teeth, it means hunger or famine. So, ang ginawa ko mga nag-translate, na-focus na lang sa meaning, gumawa na lang po ng translations na sana may ilagay yung cleanness, ang ilalagay na lang nila ay famine. So, meron pong ganyan mga Bible, na instead na ilalagay yung cleanness of teeth, ilalagay na kung ano yung meaning ng cleanness of teeth. Ang ibig sabihin ng cleanness of teeth is famine. So, ang nilagay na lang nila sa Bible, hindi na yung cleanness, kundi yun din yung meaning niya. So, ito ang mga meaning-based Bible. So, ang mga example po ng meaning-based Bible ay yung ang mabuting balita. Yung Bible na pinabay ko sa inyo, ano bang ano yan? Mabuting balita ba yan? O magandang balita? So, mabuting balita, magandang balita, yan. Yan ang mga meaning-based Bible. So, tayo po, medyo mataas ang ating regard sa form base. Kaya ang ating pong pinangawakan dito sa atin, palito na ginagamit ay ang King James Version. And I just would like to repeat ang sinasabi. Ang hawak natin King James Bible ngayon, hindi na ho yan yung 1611. Yan po nakailang revisions and editions na yan. Yung hawak ninyo ngayon yan, mga kapatid, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, ano na yan, 1700s na yan. Hindi na yung 1611, 1700s na yan. Medyo pinababaw na ng konti ang English. Kasi kung hanapin ninyo yung King James na 1611, yung mismong pinautorize ni King James, hindi nyo rin mababasa yun. Kasi napakalalim ng English na marami doon mga archaic English na. Hindi nyo na mababasa. Kung makakahawak kayo ng mga books na authored by Venerable Bede, kung paano yung pagsulat ni Venerable Bede ng English, ganun. Mas sinauna pa kay Shakespeare. Mas antigo pa. So, huwag na ninyong hanapin yung 1611 dahil hindi nyo mababasa rin yun. So, ang hawak-hawak na yung King James ngayon is mga 1700s na yata yan. So, hindi na po yan yung 1611. Okay. So, bukod sa merong form-based, merong meaning-based, meron din po palang mga Bible, mga translation na unduly free translation. So, wala akong copy niyan. Pero at one time, nagkaroon ko ng isang unduly free translation ng Bible. Ang isang example niyan yung The Living Bible. Sino rin ko nagkaroon na ng The Living Bible? Wala. Nagkaroon ko niyan. So, sobrang kalumaan na, tinapon ko na rin. Nagputay-putay na. Pero at one time, nagkaroon ako niyan. Ang tawag po dyan sa translation na yan ay unduly free. Unduly free translation. So, ang isang example niyan ay Living Bible. At bukod sa Living Bible, meron pong isang unduly free translation. Ito ho yung, by the way, kung gusto po ninyo nang makahanap ng isang magandang meaning-based Bible in English, ang bilhin yung Bible yung, New Living Translation sa English, no? Ulitin ko, kung gusto nyo makakita ng maganda-gandang klaseng meaning-based translation, ang bilhin nyo yung New Living Translation. Huwag yung Living Bible. Kasi yung Living Bible, unduly free translation niya. Ano ba itong unduly free translation? Hindi yan naging stricto sa word, sa form, at wala rin pakialam sa meaning niya. Basta kung ano na lang may sulat niya. So yun yung mga unduly free translation sa Living Bible. Isa pang halimbawa ng unduly free translation, itong Cotton Patch Bible. So, wala rin ako kung copy nito. At tinanong ko yung nag-discuss ito. Ito bibili ba yan sa Philippine Bible Society. Sabi niya, hindi papatulan ng ano yan. Hindi papatulan ng Philippine Bible Society yan. Dahil ano yan, heretic na translation. Pero I get a copy here of some of the example ng mga verses. Pakinggan niyo, no? Medyo nakakatawa ito. Sabi ng Cotton Patch Bible sa Matthew 2:13, ito yung inutusan ng angel, si Joseph, na pumunta sa Egypt para itago si Jesus Christ dahil gustong patayin ni Herod. Sa Cotton Patch Bible, ito ang mababasa nyo. After they had checked out, ano na, parang hotel. After they had checked out, the Lord's messenger made connection with Joseph. Yung appeared in the dream, made connection. After they had checked out, the Lord's messenger made connection with Joseph in a dream and said, "Get moving and take your wife and baby and highball it to Mexico." Mexico ba? Yan o, ang Cotton Patch Bible. May Bible lang yan. In Mexico na. Meron pang isang example dito. Matthew 3:4-6. Ito yung all Jordan went to, all Judea went to Jordan to be baptized by John the Baptist. Diba si John the Baptist, he wears camel's hair and he feeds on locusts and honey. Pero ito iba. Sabi nito, this guy John was dressed in blue jeans. And a leather jacket. Hindi camel's hair, leather jacket. And he was living on corn, bread, and collard greens. Collard greens, yung parang folks were coming to him from Atlanta and all over North Georgia. Naging mga US lugar pa ito, no? And the back of the water Chattahoochee. And as they owned up to their crooked ways, he dipped them in the Chattahoochee. Chattahoochee, yung mga pangalan ng river sa US na mga Indian, may pangalan ng Indian. Chattahoochee. Gusto ko magkaroon ng mga pwede ba? O reference, ano? Baka may download nyo, but ready? Ang pangalan ng Bible is Cotton Patch. Walang mabibili niya kasi walang papahatol dyan sa Cotton Patch. Pero baka may mag-download sa internet, no? Cotton Patch ang spelling. Yan, Cotton Patch Bible. Baka yung makita kayo. This guy dyan was dressed in leather. Blue jeans and leather jacket. Okay, so yun po ilang mga highlight ng mga take up sa conference. Kaya maganda ng conference. Kasi tayo mga information na napupulot, ano? May katotohanan at may mga katotohanan. Okay, habang saliwa pa sa ating isipan, ano? I-take up po natin po tayong Daniel chapter 12. Gusto ko po next Sunday, yun ang ating topic, kaya tapusin na po natin ang Daniel chapter 12. Kung maalala po ninyo, in the outset of this series, in Daniel, I mentioned that the book of Daniel can be studied alongside the book of Revelation. Almost everything in the book of Revelation na-mention sa Daniel, no? With the exception of chapter 2 or 3 siguro. Kasi chapters 2 and 3 is about church. Wala namang idea sila Daniel sa church. But almost everything in the book of Revelation is taken up in the book of Daniel. So, we will study this, this chapter 12 alongside with some of the chapters in Revelation. And I hope ma-PPs natin bawat event in its proper place. Before we do that, when we study eschatology is the study of last things. No? That is eschatology. The branch of theology which deals with the study of last things. And that is called eschatology. Doctrine of last things. Sabi paki-produce nga ako ng mga malaki na maubos ang ating marker. So, ano-ano yung mga last things. Sabi natin, doctrine of last things. Ano-ano ang alam niyo mga nangyayari sa last? Okay, right? Rapture. Ano po? Armageddon. Megiddo is a place where the war will be held. Kaya Armageddon. The place of Megiddo, it will take place in Megiddo. A favorite place for war ng panahon. Kaya tinawag na Armageddon. It will take place in Megiddo. What else? Mga last things, events in the last days. Tribulation. How many years? 7 years of tribulation, di ba? Ano pa? Mga alam niyo mangyayari sa last days. Eschatology is the doctrine of last things. What are the last things? Okay, go. That's true. Go and Magog. It's a battle among all, the battle of Gog and Magog. Ano pa? Ano mga alam niyo mangyayari sa last? Millennium. Millennial reign of Christ. Millennium is 1,000 years. Hindi ko 1,000 years millennium, ha? Pagka 1,000 years, millennium. Ano lang, millennium. Sabi niyo 1,000 years, that is the millennium already. Ano po? Last thing. Great white throne judgment. Meron pa isa, yung Bema judgment. Ano pa? Okay, the appearing of the man of sin. Antichrist. Ano pa? Okay, dito na yan sa Revelation. New heaven. New heaven. New earth. Okay, ano pa ba? Ano kayo maalala? Yan, mga mangyayari yan sa future, no? Tama na natin yung Revelation. Kasi may rapture ka eh. Hindi, sama mo na rin yung Revelation. O ngayon, lahat yan mangyayari sa future.
Pagkasira mo nito,
End of time. Of the world. Okay, alam na natin, lahat yan mangyayari. Ang tanong, paano ka pagkakasunod-sunod niyan? Paano yung sequence niyan? Paano ang pagkakasunod-sunod niyan? Sabi natin, lahat yan mangyayari sa future. Saan lugar mo yung sisingit? Pagaya ng Antikristo. Sa mga mangyayari dito ng mga events, saan mo siya isisiksik? Itong new heaven, new earth, saan sa banda? Yan great white throne, saan mangyayari yan? Yan millennium, saan yan? Yan rapture, yung Armageddon, yung tribulation, yung Gog and Magog. So, isa-settle na natin yan kapatid, one time for all. Mamaya, no? Binigyan natin pansin yan. I-arrange natin yan. It's like taking every piece of the puzzle and we place it in its proper place. We put it in its proper place. So, basahin muna po natin ang Daniel. Para through our commitment, natatapusin natin ang book of Daniel. So, basahin muna po natin. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble. So sabi natin, kung si Michael, ito po yung isa sa mga archangels. Ang kanyang special ministry is to take care of the nation of Israel. More particularly, doon sa last part, yung last half ng Great Tribulation. So itong binabanggit na at that time dito, that actually is very specific, refers to the last half of the 7 years. So that is the 3.5 years. Or equivalent to 42 months. equivalent to a time, times, and half a time. Maalala pa ninyo. Verse 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So, bago po tayo tumuloy sa verse 3, lilinawin natin ito, no? Many of them that sleep means they are dead. Awake, shall awake means shall be resurrected. Okay? Some to everlasting life, it means they are in heaven. And some to shame, they will go to hell. So to pumunta ng heaven, it means they are saved, ligtas. And those who will go to hell are the unsaved or the unbelievers. So, apparently, here in verse 2, dito po sa verse 2, it mentions two resurrections. Ano? So, the resurrection of the saved, of the wicked, of the righteous, and the resurrection of the wicked. And this resurrection, mga kapatid, are so, yeah, no? This is the first resurrection, the resurrection of the saved or of the righteous. And then, to be followed by another. So, sabihin na lang natin the second resurrection. But, itong first resurrection and second resurrection, although taken in verse 2, isang verse lamang ang nagme-mention, pero dalawang resurrect. Yung wicked at believer. Yung wicked sa everlasting shame and contempt. Yung mga believers sa eternal life. Although taken in just one verse, but actually, they are how many years apart? They are 1,000 years apart. Okay, wala yan. Mauna yung first resurrection, and then it will take another 1,000 years before the second resurrection will take place. So mamaya mga kapatid, hindi pa dinidiscuss ko pa yan ng mas detalye. Pero, i-detalye lang muna natin itong first resurrection. Itong first resurrection mga kapatid, merong tatlong bahagi yan. Itong first resurrection. First part is called the first fruits. Mentioned in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Pakicheck ko anong verse. 23. And then to be followed by the main harvest, the same verse. 1 Corinthians 15. Tama ba? 23 then? To be followed by them that are Christ. 23 then? Tama ba? Pakicheck naman. Gleanings, yan yung tribulation, saints, mentioned in Revelation, basta sa Revelation. So, yan ang tatlong bahagi ng first resurrection. Itong first fruits, tapos na ho ito. Tapos na yan. Dahil ang unang na-resurrect, walang iba kundi ang ating Panginoong Yesu Cristo. Meron na siyang resurrected body. Right? When He was buried, He was in the grave 3 days and 3 nights. But after 3 days and 3 nights, bumangon ng Panginoon, ang katawan niya, hindi na yung dati. Ang katawan niya is the resurrected body. So, siya po ang kauna-unahang nagkaroon ng resurrected body up to now. Taglay pa ng Panginoon ang kanyang resurrected body. Kaya tawag sa kanya is the first fruits of resurrection. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 23. But every man in his own order. Christ the first fruits. So, si Christ yung first fruit. First fruits, ano? Christ is the first fruits. Tapos na siya. And then of that same verse, verse 23, them that are Christ at His coming. Verse 23 then. Afterward, they that are Christ at His coming. Ano yung coming na yan? Yung sa rapture. Sa rapture, ano ba mangyayari? Paglabas ni Kristo, lahat ng mga namatay, mula pa ng panahon ni Adam, hanggang sa kahuli-huli ang Kristiyanong namatay, according to 1 Thessalonians chapter, sa book of Thessalonians, ano? Chapter 3 yata yan. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. The dead in Christ shall rise. Babangon sila. At tayo naman po na kung sakaling buhay pa tayo, hindi tayo namatay. Bumalik si Kristo, nag-rapture, buhay pa tayo. Ano? Mapapalitan ang ating katawan ng glorified body. Hindi tayo mare-resurrect. Ang tawag sa atin ay mata-translate. Pero kapareho ng ating katawan, kapareho din ng mga na-resurrect. Glorified body. Ano? So, yun ang tinatawag na main harvest. Bakit main harvest? Maramihan. Ang first fruits, si Kristo. Solo. Pagkatapos si Kristo, yung main harvest na. Yung maramihan. Ano? Pero matapos na ma-rapture, maraming mga namatay at mga jabutang buhay, masusundan pa uli yan ng tinatawag na gleanings. Ano yung gleanings? Yun yung mga tira-tira. Kasi sa Israel way of harvest, kung ito po yung field na i-harvest, ang gagawin niya ng praise, kakarit muna ng kaunti at i-wave. Ang tawag niya ng first fruits. Wave yan. That symbolizes Christ. So, na-fulfill na yan. After na may wave yan, symbolize Christ, to be followed by the real harvest. Sige, harvest na. So, that is the main harvest. But the instruction of the Lord is that hindi nila dapat sinisimot. Ititira nila yung mga gilid-gilid. Para saan yung gilid-gilid? Para sa mga gleaners. Yung gleaners, yan yung mga walang lupa, walang sakahan. Yan yung mga strangers. Nasabi ng Panginoon, kayo rin, naging estrangero sa Egypt. At sa lupa yun, hindi mauubos ang mahirap. Maging na kayo, merciful sa mga mahirap. Hayaan nyo silang mag-glean. At ako, mga kapatid, nakaranas din yan. Nasa probinsya, matapos mag-harvest ng mani, matapos mag-harvest ng panis, kahit matapos mag-harvest ng palay, pag alis ng may-ari, free ka na sa mga mahirap. Free ka na, maalala ko ng lolo ko. Pag nag-glean yan, pag-uwi niyan, ang laking kain niyan, puno ng mais. Nag-glean. Nag-gleaning yan. At ang nanay ko, magaling din mag-glean ng palay. Ang ginagawa niya, yung tuwalya, matapos na i-treasure, di ba, tinetreasure yan? Pero pag tinetreasure mo yan, maraming natatapon sa lupa. So, ididikit na lang yung tuwalya sa lupa at ididikit niya sa tuwalya at pinapagpag. Yun ang mga gleaner. Ano? Ginigling. Ang naiiwan, marami na naiiwan siya. Pati mani, gano'n din. Kasi ang mga nag-harvest, basta bunot yan. Pag bunot, yung padala, yun ang kukunin. Pero hindi naiiwan, puputol-putol yung ilang mga bunga sa ilalim. So yung mga cleaners, bukain mo lang yan, makakarami ka rin. So, sa resurrection mga kapatid, meron din mga tira-tira. At yung mga tira-tira na yan, yun yung mga ma-resurrect sa 7 years tribulation. So sila yung mga tribulation saints na nakita ni John na sabi niya, sandali lang, saan galing yung mga tao niya? So sila umiiyak, yan yung mga nasave sa tribulation time, mga napugutan ng ulo. Kasi meron pa mga masasave sa tribulation, pero lahat sila ay pupugutan ng ulo. So ito yung first resurrection. Lagay niyo ng marker in Daniel 12. Please try to open in Revelation 20. So as I said, we will study this alongside the book of Revelation. Tingnan niyo yung chapter 20 of Revelation. Verse 5. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. So, inulit ko, Ibig sabihin ng first resurrection, we are expecting what? Another. So, meron pang kasunod. So, kailan mangyayari yung second resurrection? According to Revelation 20 verse 5. Kailan mangyayari yung second resurrection? After 1,000 years. Ibig sabihin, ang first resurrection will take place before 1,000 years. At ano ba yung 1,000 years? 1,000 years is the millennial reign of Christ. So bago mag-millennium, magkakaroon muna yung, mangyayari muna yung first resurrection. That is why there is a very, very strong case for the believers in pre-millennial reign of Christ. Alam niyo ba nandun sa Giwaras? I met with preachers na mga amillennialists. They do not believe that there is a literal millennial reign of Christ. I met with people who believe that the return of Christ is after millennium. Ang tawag sa kanila ay mga post-millennialists. Pero tayo mga kapatid, ang ating stand sa church ito, we are pre-millennialists. We believe that the return of Christ is before millennium. So bago magsimula ang millennium, bababa mo na siya. Gagirahin niya yung Antikristo. At pagka na-destroy na yung political and religious system sa mundo, saka niya i-establish yung 1,000 year reign sa lupa, which is the millennial reign of Christ. At pagkatapos ng 1,000 year reign of Christ, millennium, saka ngayon mangyayari yung second resurrection. Yan po ang sinasabi ko na the first resurrection and the second resurrection is 1,000 years apart from each other. Although just taken in one verse in Daniel 12:2, pero hindi nangangulugan na isang pangyayari lang yan, pagkahiwalay yan. Yung resurrection ng wicked, mangyayari 1,000 years matapos na ma-resurrect ang mga Jews. Okay? So, balikan mo natin ang Daniel 12. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. So, yun yung first resurrection. Some to everlasting life. That's the first resurrection. And after 1,000 years, the second resurrection. Some to shame and everlasting contempt. Verse 3. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. So, lahat ng mga faithful Christians, meron silang reward. They shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. If you are a soul winner, you are turning many to righteousness. Marami kang natuturuan na tao. From their error, you convert them from their error. Sa kanilang mga maling paniniwala, maling gawain, at maling direksyon, ma-convert mo sila, naituwid mo sila. You have a reward pagdating ng resurrection. They that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Verse 4. Ano man po ito? Verse 4. This is the final consummation. But thou, Daniel, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. Pag sinabing shut up the words and seal the book, ibig sabihin yan, hindi ito maunawaan ng marami. Ano? Even to the time of the end. Sa mga unbelievers, hindi nila ito maunawaan. Kaya doon po sa mga nagsisikap na compute ng compute, ano nangyayari sa kanila? Predict ng predict. Pinipilit nilang i-predict na ito na, ang araw na darating ng Panginoon. Kaya sa ng Bible, wala nakakaalam niya. The Lord will not cause people to understand kung kailan talaga yan. Yung duration ng 70 weeks, we were given. Ano kung ilan yung duration of 70 weeks? Pati yung 70th week, sinabi sa atin kung ilang araw yun, kung ilang buwan. Ano? Kaso nga lamang, meron ng period in between eh. Yun yung undetermined, the period in between the 69th and the 70th week. Na pinipilit na marami na, ito na, magsisimula na ang 70th week, ito na yung panahon. So, they try to predict. At yun na, nakal pa, yung May 21. At sabi nila, sa October na raw. So, bali na, kanilang computation. At sabi nito, seal the words, seal the book, even to the time of the end. Sabi nito, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So, binigyan si Daniel ng kaalaman ng Diyos, na sa huling panahon, people shall go to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Shall increase. Ang opinion ko dyan, ito na yung panahon na yan na antindi ng knowledge ng tao, yung information. There is an information explosion. Tama mo ba panahon ko? Particularly nung internet. Andyan na lahat. From everything, from good to evil, from good to the worst, andyan na lahat. Lahat ng gusto mong malaman, kapakipakinabang, ang destructive sa buhay ng tao, andyan na lahat sa internet. And people shall go to and fro. Ito na yung panahon na tao walang tigil, Lalo na Pilipinas, the city never sleeps. Akala mo, mahangunti ang sasakyan sa EDSA dahil gabi na. Hindi. May mga taong pang gabi. Mga night people. Kung kailan gabi, saka sila gising. At pag-araw, saka sila tulog. Kaya pagkagabi na, dyan naglalabasan ang mga sasakyan nila, walang tigil. Magta-traffic pa rin kahit gabi-gabi na. Marami pa rin sasakyan. People shall go to and fro. Knowledge shall be increased. Verse 5, then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, shall these things be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. So, it is close to be understood. Isinara ito para hindi na maunawaan ng tao. Dahil sa mga believers, ibinigay ang pagkaunawa. Verse 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate shall up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days. But go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lap at the end of the days. So, uray ko lang po ito, Naunawa na po natin yung first resurrection and second resurrection. That the first resurrection is the resurrection of Christ, of the believers. It will be followed by the second resurrection, the resurrection of the wicked, 1,000 years later. Now, yung verse 1, may binabanggit dyan at that time. Ulitin ko lang, That time refers to the last half of the 7 years tribulation. It also means the last half of the 70th week of Daniel. Yan din po yung tinutukoy ng time, and half a time. With S ito, pangalawa. So this is 2, this is 1, and then this is 0.5. Yan din po yung binabanggit na 42 months. That's also 3.5 years, 42 months. Yan din po yung 1,200, binanggit yan 60, binanggit na 1,290. Depende kung saan kami sa mga ng county. So magsisimula ka ng counting mo, yung time na tinago sila sa Mount Olives, that's 1,216. But if you start counting from the stoppage, nung ipinatigil na yung sacrifice sa temple, that is 1,290 days, according to Daniel. Daniel 12:11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice has been taken away, wala nang ipinatigil yung sacrifice sa temple. Kasi sa beginning ng 7 years, the Antichrist will make a covenant with Israel. Na friend sila. So hindi niya pipigilin ng Israel sa kanilang temple sacrifice. Kaso nga lamang, at the middle of the week, he will break the covenant. And in the middle of the week, after 3.5 years, he will cause the sacrifice to be stopped. Ipapatigil niya yan. So doon magsisimula ang counting nitong 1,290 days. At iba naman yung 1,260 days na binabanggit sa Revelation chapter 12. Iba naman yun. Doon magsisimula yan sa nung itago na sila. Meaning, nung ipa-stop, 1 month muna siguro na nakikipag-away ang Israel, nakikipag-talo. Ba't ka hindi sumunod sa usapan? Meron tayong pirmahan, may sabuan niya. And after 1 month, hindi talaga na-solve yan. Pagkasimin ng Israel, and Israel will flee to Mount Olives. So, 1,260 or 1,290 days. Okay. Now, we will piece up. Lalagay na po natin sa kanyang lugar. Ito mga bagay-bagay ito. The last thing, last things. Eschatology is doctrine of last things. And these are the last things. The things that will happen in the last days. Ihaayos natin sila sa kanyang sequence. So, bubuhayin ko na po ito. Pahapyaw lang muna. Itoong since creation time, or the time of Adam, to the birth of Christ, palagay natin ito yung birth of Christ, ilang libong taon na ang lumipas. From the time of Adam to the birth of Christ, or to the time of Christ. It is approximately 4,000 years. And from the time of Christ to present, sa ngayon, tayo po ay 2011. So, bakit tayo 2011? So, nagsimula ang pagbilang niya. Kasi 2011 na tayo, di ba? Nagsimula ang bilang niya doon pa sa panahon ni Kristo. Mula nung isilang ang ating Panginoon Jesus, nagsimula ang counting about 4 BC. Up to the present time, 2,000 taon na ang nakakalipas. So, kailan pinako si Kristo? Approximately 2,000 years ago. Yung siya po isinilang sa mundo ito. Siya pinanganak. At mula naman nung nilikha si Adam, 6,000 taon na si Adam. So, nagpapatunay lamang ito mga kapatid na ang tao sa mundo ay 6,000 taon lamang. Kaya hindi totoo yung tinuturo sa science na sa biology na Java man, this million and millions of years ang edad. Itong painting man is another billion years ang edad. At itong, parang sila mga sinasabi, no? The original Eve, pero ganyan, na billions of years ang edad. Wala akong milyon ng tao. Ang tao po sa mundo ay 6,000 taon pa lang. Okay? So, after, kunyari, magra-rapture, matatapos ang 2011, di ba? 2011, kunyari, 2011 mag-rapture, natuloy yung October, 2011 pa. Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon na 7 years tribulation dito sa lupa. At matapos ang 7 years tribulation, babalik ulit si Kristo sa Revelation para magkaroon ng millennial reign. Millennial reign is 1,000 years. So, ito na millennial. Okay? So, palalakihin mo na ng konti. Kunyari, ito yung 2011. So, ito yung year 2011. Nag-rapture na. So, ang tawag po dito ay rapture. So, itong rapture, magte-take place yan mga kapatid, bago mag 7 years. So, ito yung 7 years tribulation. Also known as the 70th week of Daniel. So, ito yung 7 years. Kaya, so, kailan magra-rapture mga kapatid? Bago mag 7 years. Bago mag tribulation. Diyan mangyayari ang rapture. Okay? Pag nag-rapture, so, alam na natin ang location ng rapture, ha? Bago mag 7 years. Pag na-rapture tayo, mga kapatid, anong activity natin sa langit pag na-rapture tayo? Bukod sa magkakantahan. Ayun. Doon mangyayari sa pagka-rapture, sa langit mangyayari na tawag na Bema Judgment. Ano yung Bema Judgment, mga kapatid? Yan po yung rewarding. For the reward. So, yan yung Bema Judgment. Sa 1 Corinthians chapter 3 yata yan. For we must all appear. Sa Romans. We must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. So, markanin niyo yung mga binabasa natin dito. Hanapin natin sa Roma. Ano sa Romans yan eh? Romans 14. Yan yan. Verse 12. So that every one of us can give account of himself to God. Mapakihanap nyo yung we must all appear before the judgment seat. Ano sabi, Brad? Ano pagkakasabi? We must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. That's 1 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 3. 5. 10. So, 2 Corinthians 5:10. We must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. So, alam na natin, saan yung Bema? Sabi nyo, Bema Judgment. Yun. So, alam nila, saan magaganap ang Bema Judgment? Pagka-rapture. Sino ang mga i-judge dyan? Believer. Ang tanong, anong i-judge sa atin? Lahat ng ginawa natin mali, papakita, meron TV monitor. At lahat ng ginawa mo na mga bagay-bagay, papakita sa'yo para mahiya ka. May narinig akong ganyan preaching. Sa langit daw, sa judgment, papakita lahat ng mali mong nagawa. Hindi nyo na may yung langit niya, no? Malungkot na sa langit. Eh, marami sa ating ginawa, nakakaya. So, hindi ho yun ang inaalam dyan, yung mga bad works. Ang ginajudge sa Bema Judgment, yung ating mga good works to determine our reward. Kasi meron tayong mga good works na mali ang motive, masusunog yun. According to 2 Corinthians, dalawang kategory yan. Mga flammable and non-flammable. Ang flammable, yun yung mga hay, wood, and stubble. At yung mga non-flammable, precious stone, gold, and silver. So, paano matatry yan? By fire. Pag dinahan sa apoy yan, sunog yung hay, wood, and stubble. Meaning, yan yung mga good works natin na ginawa na good work, pero mali ang motive. Ang equivalent, bad work pa rin. Wala kang reward. Hindi ka makaka-receive ng reward. Sunog ang yung ginawa. Kunyari, gumawa ka ng good work, just to get the praise of men, mapuri ka. O ginawa mo, dahil meron kang ulterior motive. Gagawin ko ito sa kapwa ko para balang araw ako naman makinabang sa kanya. So, bad motive, wala yun. O meron kang ginawang good work sa Panginoon, Kristiyano ka, pero wala ka naman sa true church. Hindi ka baptized, pero marami ka nagawang good works. You are not playing according to the rule. Because the rule of God, all services to God must be rendered, channeled through the local church. Kaya wala kang local church membership, basta saved ka lang. Nasa langit ka. You're saved yet to us by fire. Nasa langit ka, pero para kanyang taong nasave sa apoy. Usually, ang mga nasave sa sunog, walang dala, sarili lang. Sa langit, ganun din, may mga taong nasa langit, pero dala niya sarili niya. Wala siyang mga naipaglingkod sa Diyos na madadala niya sa langit at yung offer sa paano ng Panginoon. Kasi lahat ng ating mga rewards, kung ano man yung bibigay sa atin, iaalay din natin yan sa paano ng Panginoon. And we will see thou art worthy, ikaw lang ang dapat to receive glory, honor, and praises. Kaya yung mga reward natin, babalik din natin yan sa paano ng Panginoon. Ikaw, ano iaalay mo sa Panginoon? Kristiyano ka nga, wala ka namang simbahan. Kaya lahat ng service mo, zero. Marami ka nagawa mabuti, zero. Bakit? Hindi mo chinanel sa local church. Sino nakakuha ng glory? Hindi ikaw. Kung ginawa mo through local church, at glorify church, at glorify ang Panginoon through the local church. Dahil ang rule, Ephesians 3:21, unto Him, be glory in the church throughout all ages. Sa lahat ng Panginoon, ng panahon, God receives glory through His local churches. To Him be glory in the church throughout all ages. Sa lahat ng panahon niya. Ano? That's why if you want to serve God, kailangan meron kang active local church membership. At doon mo gawin ang servisyo mo sa Panginoon. Otherwise, pagdating sa Day of Judgment, ang kalalabasan ng mga service mo sa Panginoon, hay, dayame, wood, kahoy, and stubble, mga pagkain ng hayop. Masusunod lang yun. It will result of nothing. Empty. Empty. Or kahit na meron kang church membership, but you serve with the wrong motive, na gusto mong pasiklaban yung girlfriend mo o yung nililigawan mo, kaya ka-active. Wala din mo. You're not doing it for the Lord. Or you want the praise of man, wala kang makukuha ang reward sa Panginoon. And then, kapag natapos ang 7 years, ang Bema Judgment, natapos na rin ang 7 years sa lupa, muling magbabalik ang Panginoon. And that is called Revelation. At sa Revelation ng Panginoon, mga kapatid, kasama na ang mga narapture. Kasama na yung mga narapture. So, buray ko na ito para mabasa natin. No? Pagbalik ng Panginoon, ang tawag na dyan ay Revelation. Bakit Revelation? It will be revealed kung sino talaga siya. He will come back. Itong rapture, He will come for the saints. Pero sa Revelation, He will come with the saints. Yun ang pagkakaiba. Yung rapture, He will come for, para kunin yung mga believers at yung mga dead saints. Pero pagdating ng Revelation, after 7 years, He will come with, kasama na niya tayo, pababa sa lupa. Ang tawag dyan ay Revelation. Sa may Revelation lupa. Okay? Alam na niyo rapture, kung saan yan? Yung Bema Judgment, alam niyo na kung saan? Revelation after Bema Judgment. Revelation is after 7 years. Correct? Rapture before 7 years. Revelation after 7 years. Bema Judgment during the 7 years ng tao sa lupa. Doon ang Bema Judgment. Okay, dito naman sa lupa. Habang nagsa 7 years. Sabi ng Daniel chapter 9, pag nakaupo ng Antikristo, kasi ang Antikristo lilitaw dito sa 7 years eh. Diyan sa lilitaw yung Antichrist, the man of sin. Basahin natin yung 2 Thessalonians. The man of sin, yung coming ng Panginoon, hindi darating hanggang hindi marireveal yung man of sin according to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. 3 ba? Meron sinabi niya na verse 3, 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come. Anong that day? The return of Christ. Tingnan niyo yung verse 2. that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit nor by word nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. So yung day na tinutukoy dyan, yung second coming of Christ. Sabi nito, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day the return of Christ shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. The man of sin, the son of perdition, is none other than the Antichrist. So, kailan siya ma-reveal? Sa beginning ng 7 years. So, yung day ng Panginoon, kanya second coming, ay bago mag 7 years, at pagka dumating yung pagdating ng Panginoon, saka ma-reveal ang Antichrist. Ito ang pagkakaalpin ninyo. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. So mukhang tinutukoy dito na that day, na part ng that day is the revelation of Christ. Okay? But anyway, ito pong man of sin, which is the Antichrist, limitaw po siya nakapatid dito sa 7 years tribulation. According to Daniel chapter 9, he will make a covenant with Israel for 7 years. 7 years yung kanilang agreement na hindi niya pipigilan ang Israel sa kanilang worship. But according to Daniel chapter 9, in the middle of the week, sabi natin 1 week is 7 years. So yung middle of the week, kailan yun? Itong 3 and 1/2. So yung first 3 and 1/2, okay ba yung covenant ng Antichrist Israel? Okay pa. Hindi pa niya binibreak. Sige, mag-worship na kayo. Tuloy niyo yung sacrifice niyo. Okay lang yan. So, parang peaceful. Ang lupa, peaceful muna. Walang gulo. Walang away. But, in the middle of the week, he will break the covenant. So, itong last 3 and 1/2, mga kapatid, ito yung remaining na 3 and 1/2 ng 7 years. Yun yung pinag-aaralan natin kanina na that day. That time. That time. Yung that time na yan, yan yung 42 months. Yan yung 1,290 days. Yan din yung time, times, and half. Yan yun. Itong last na remaining. Although itong first 3 and a half, 1,290 days din yan. O itong first 3 and a half, ano rin yan, time, times, and half din yan. Pero lang, hindi siya tinutukoy na that time. Hindi siya minention na that time. Ang tinutukoy na that time, yung last half. Kasi yung last half na yan, yan yung tribulation. Yan yung pinakamabigat. Katawag yan yung Great Tribulation. Tinawag din yan na the time of Jacob's trouble. Yan na yung pinakamahirap na sitwasyon. Ano? That people will seek death, but will never find death. So sobrang hirap. At dyan sa 3 and 1/2 years, mga kapatid, dyan din magaganap yung pagtatapak ng 666. So, kailan matatapos itong 3 and 1/2 years? Ano? Yun yung tinitake up dito sa Revelation chapter 19. Sabihin na lang natin ang beginning ng last 3 and 1/2 na yan, Revelation chapter 12. At matatapos yung remaining 10 and a half years sa chapter 19. So, lahat ng events sa 12 hanggang sa 19, lahat yan mag-occur dito sa last 3 and a half. Nakuha nyo? Nag-guess nyo? Lahat ng events, ulitin ko lahat ng events sa chapter 12 of Revelation, chapter 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, up to 19, lahat yan magta-take place dito sa last half. Yung huling 3 and a half. So, ipack mo na yan. Pagsama-samahin na yan dyan. Yan lahat mangyayari yan. Sa last 3 and a half. Itong first 3 and a half, wala eh. Relative peace. Pero yung last 3 and a half, dyan na bubuhos yung 7 mangkok, 7 trumpeta, at 7 selyo. Doon ka rin mangyayari yung marriage supper of the Lamb, nakakahihin ng mga hayop, ng mga ibon, ng katawan ng mga bangkay. Diyan na rin mangyayari yung pagbalik ng Panginoon with the saints sa dulo ng last 3 and 1/2. So, Anong portion ng Bible ang nagdedetalye sa last 3.5? Revelation 12 up to 19. Okay? Gets? Yes. Ang mga detalye ng last 3.5 years of tribulation are all recorded in Revelation 12 up to 19. Okay, matapos ang 19. After tribulation, after 3.5 years tribulation, ano mangyayari? Hindi chapter 20. Ano naman mangyayari sa chapter 20? Buksan natin. Ayan, tsaka natin ngayon babasahin ng Revelation 20. Natapos na yung 7 years tribulation. Natapos na yung last 3.5. Ano naman ang mangyayari? Eto na, Revelation 20. So, balikan muna natin yung 19. Ano ba yung huling nangyari sa 19? Sa 16, 1916. And he had on his vesture, on his thigh, a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And then, sa 17, I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of the heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God. And in supper of the great God, Digmaan, 18, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, the flesh of captains, the flesh of mighty men, the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken with the false prophet that brought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and then that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone, and the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, with the sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So yung 19, still part of the 7 years or the last 3.5, nag-culminate siya sa return of Christ. Didigbahin niya ang mga army ng Antichrist together with the Antichrist, at kakainin ng mga ibon ang kanilang mga flesh. By the way, yung pong pagtatatak ng 666, saan po magaganap yan? Dito rin yan, sa Revelation time. Ano yung itatatak? Chapter 13, verse 18. Ano yung itatatak sa kamay at sa noo ng tao? Dalawang location yan, paglalagyan kanang kamay at sa noo. Pagkaputol ang kamay mo, sa noo. Putol ang kamay mo At sinabi doon, in. So yung in, loob, di ba? So it will be implanted, hindi ito tattoo. Dito po i-inject beneath the skin. At ngayon, ginagawa na yan. Marami na mga nagpapa-inject ng mark. The tawag transponder. So that wherever you are traceable. Matatrace ka. That's why in the tribulation you can run, but you cannot hide. Kahit nasa ilalim ka ng lupa, meron nag-edit na signal. Ano siya? May GPS pa. Alam kung nasaan ka. That's why you can run, but you cannot hide because of the mark of the beast being implanted in their hands. Saan ba yan? Dito siguro. Kasi maraming laman dito in the hand and in the forehead dito. Pag binatak mo yung laman, yung balat dito, loose siya, di ba? Loose. So, pwedeng inject dito sa loob ng forehead mo dito. Hindi dito. Kasi ito, medyo masikip. Mahirap atakin. Ito, madali-dali. Mas loose ito ng konti. Mas madali mag-injection. Bubus mo injection. Mas maliit pa yan sa bigas. Ang i-inject yan. At ano yung i-inject sa'yo? Lahat ng record tungkol sa'yo. At ang tawag dyan is the mark of the beast. Verse 13 of chapter 18. Verse 18, chapter 13 of Revelation. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Verse 15. Verse 16 plus 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads. At ano yung mark of the beast? Is the number of man, 666. That's the mark of the beast. Okay. Mabilikan natin nagtapos yung tribulation. Nagtapos yung last 3.5 by the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. Giniyero na sila. naubos, nangamatay, kinain ng ibon. At ano na susunod? Verse 20, chapter 20. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So, kailan ibabound si Satan? Kailan? Kailan ibabound? Kailan ikukulong si Satan? Buburahin mo na to. Para luminaw-linaw ng konti. Natapos ang giyera, Armageddon, pagdating ni Kristo. So, ibubulid si Satan sa bottomless. Tandaan niyo po, itong book of Revelation. This is Revelation 20. Highly symbolic itong Revelation. Highly symbolic. Parang ito mga symbolic. Hindi ito literal na chain. Hindi ito literal na balon. Hindi rin yan literal na takip. Kasi, spirit naman sa Satan eh. Anong saysay ng takip? Isang spirit. Gagapos ko na sa kadena ang spirit. So, this is highly figurative. But the message it conveys is that wala siyang freedom. Correct? Wala siyang kalayaan. He is bound. Kano katagal? Sabi nito sa Revelation 20. He is bound and chained in his hand for 1,000 years. Ibig sabihin, matapos ang 7 years tribulation, under pa ang mundo. Magpapatuloy pa ito na 1,000 years. Bakit 1,000 years? Yan ang sinabi niya, 1,000 taon. At habang 1,000 years na umandar pa ang mundo, umiiral pa ang mundo, si Satan naman ay nakakulong pa rin sa kanyang kulungan na 1,000 years. So wala siyang freedom to influence the activity of men on this planet. Walang influence ng demons. Walang influence sa Satan. Walang demonic powers. So, masaya. Bakit? Walang demonyo sa mundo. Masaya rito, walang demonyo. Kaya naman tayo magulo, walang demonyo eh. Di ba pinag-aralan natin yan? The demons are working in the government system. They are behind the systems of this world, political and religious. Di ba? Nakikialam sila. They are the prince of the power of the air. But, pag matapos ang tribulation, at magsisimula naman ang 1,000 years, si Satan and his forces will be bound for 1,000 years. Pero mga kapatid, according to Revelation 20, he will be released. Kailan siya i-release? Dito, he will be released at the end of the 1,000 years. O ngayon, habang si Satanas, dito muna siya sa bottomless pit. Huwag muna natin siya pakialaman, ha? Sa millennium, ano mangyayari? Okay, alam na natin sa millennium, ha? Millennium, tapos na ito. Armageddon, tapos na. Millennium tayo. Ano mangyayari sa millennium? Mababasa niya sa book of Isaiah, chapter 2 or chapter 6. May mga description dyan kung ano mangyayari sa millennium. Sa millennium, according to the Bible, the child will play with the snakes. And the snake will not hurt. The lion will play with the lamb. At hindi kakainin ng lion ng lamb dahil sa millennium, mawawala yung kanyang cannibalistic, yung kanyang carnivorous instinct. Because the lion will eat, according to Isaiah, the lion will eat straw like the fox. Walang carnivorous sa millennium. And according to the Bible, ang millennium will be restored to its Edenic condition. Walang damo, walang tinik, walang disyerto. Everything will be lushful, masagana, ayabong. Walang disyerto, walang kakain ng karne. Lahat tayo, fruitarian and vegetarian. At mahaba ang buhay ng tao. Wala rin ulan kasi sa Edenic time, walang ulan. Maamo ang lahat. Lahat ibabalik sa original condition. Yung ahas lang, hindi mabilis sa original. Kasi nung sinumpa ang ahas, saka nagsimulang maglakad sa tiyan niya, ginagapang niya. Pero bago yung kanyang pagkasumpa sa kanya, hindi siya magagapang. Pero pag ibinalik yung Edenic condition sa milenyo, ganun pa rin, gagapang pa rin siya. Pero, one thing is sure, lahat ko'y magiging maamo. Mahabang buhay, sabi ng Bible, there shall be no infancy of days. Ibig sabihin, walang mamamatay ng maaga. Walang mamamatay ng bata. At ang edad ng tao sa tanda ng puno, aabot ng 1,000 years. Question. Matagal ba yung 1,000 years? Sobrang tagal ho. And we will stay in the millennium. That's sabi ng Bible, we will reign with Christ for 1,000 years. Ngayon, pag nagre-reign tayo sa millennium, anong itsura natin? Ito ba ang katawan na ito? Hindi. Tayo po ay glorified body ang ating dala. Glorified body. Ngayon, yung irurule natin sa lupa, glorified body o hindi? Yung mga irurule natin ang mga tao, kasi may papasok pa ng tao sa millennium eh. Nasa glorified body ba sila? Hindi. Pero mahaba lang ang buhay nila. Pero hindi sila glorified body. Tayo naman, glorified body, hindi rin tayo mag-age. Meron tayong anti-aging. Sarap. Yung ating glorified body, anti-aging. Hindi tumatanda yun kailanman. Hindi kukulubot, hindi re-wrinkle, at hindi na dadagdagan ng edad ng isang araw o dalawang araw at ilang litong taon. Because according to our song, Amazing Grace, when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we have no less days to sing God's praise. Hindi na lessen ang ating araw. Hindi na bawasan. Okay? So, yan ang millennium. And here in millennium, Christ will rule with a rod of iron. Hindi siya yung mahamong tupa. Siya yung layo ng Judah, the son of David. So, basahin natin ang Revelation 20. Verse 2, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that, he must be loosed a little season. Yun ang sinasabi ko na after 1,000 years, Satan will be loosed. Makakawala. So habang hindi pa siya nakakawala, anong nangyayari sa atin? Verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. So magrurule ang mga na-resurrect, pati mga nag-lean, magrurule with Christ for 1,000 years. Verse 5, but the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. So yung mga resurrect sa rapture at mag-glean, mga resurrect sa gleaning, papasok sa millennium, we will reign with Christ for 1,000 years. Ngayon, yung mga ibang namatay, yung mga wicked, yung mga unbelievers, kailan sila mare-resurrect? After 1,000 years. Sabi niya, the rest of the dead, ang sabi niya, the rest of the dead, and they live. Anong verse yan?
Verse 5.
5. But the rest of the dead live not again or were resurrected until the 1,000 years were finished. So yung naunang na-resurrect, sila yung kasama sa first resurrection. So yung rest of the dead, dito yun. Mabangon sila rito sa after millennium. Okay? Pag bumangon sila, mga kapatid, iharap sila ng Diyos sa great, so millennium, tapos na, no? Ito naman, great white throne judgment. So yung sa Christian, Bema. Sa mga believers, great white throne judgment. Kaya mali yung mga, yung mga tinasabi na, sa araw ng pagbuhok, doon natin malalaman kung langit ka o hindi. Mali yun. Iba ang judgment ng believer. Ang believer, nasa langit na yan. Pero yung araw sa araw sa pagdurukot sa Great White Throne Judgment, puro mga unbeliever dyan. Hindi dyan dinidetermine kung langit o impyerno ang pupuntahan mo. The fact that you are there in the Great White Throne Judgment, it proves that you will go to hell. Hindi mo na itayin malaman pa na langit ba o impyerno pupuntahan mo. Talagang hindi ka pupunta ng langit. Impyerno ang sigurado, ang sure na pupuntahan mo. Pero ano mo, kung ano sa'yo, bakit tinawag na judgment? Ang ginajudge ay ang iyong degree of punishment. Degree of punishment. Para malaman mo kung ilang degree Celsius ka. Basta si Judas, mayroon siyang special place. Kung kaya nang tumunaw ng stainless. Kaya lubusaw ng meron siyang special place according to Bible. That he might go unto his own place. Meron siyang special place na paglalagyan sa kanya. Okay. So, saan yan? The verse, chapter 20, verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. And the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. So, here in the great white throne judgment, people will be judged to determine the degree of their punishment. Hindi para malaman kung langit o impyerno ang pupuntahan. Now, meron tayo na this, yung verse 7. Balik tayo sa verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heavens and devoured them. So, listen to this, listen. After 1,000 years, Satan shall be loose. Di ba? He will deceive nations. At maraming madadaya. The number is as the sand of the sea. And they will make war with the saints and the beloved city. At ang tawag sa gera na yun ay binanggit niya. Gog and Magog. That's the name of the war, of the battle. Yung sa 7 years tribulation is the battle of Armageddon. Pero yung sa millennium, after millennium, it is the Gog and Magog, or Gog and Magog. Pero mga kapatid, sandali lamang yan, lulusawin sila ng apoy na manggagaling sa Diyos. At pagka namatay na yung mga tao makikipagdigma, verse 10, the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Matapos ang Gog and Magog, pupusahin ng mga tao at si Satanas, saka lamang ilalagay sa lake of fire. Yan, saka pa lamang magkakaroon ng inhabitant ang impyerno. Sa kasalukuyan, wala pang laman ang lake of fire. It is a place prepared for Satan and his angels and eventually by all the unbelievers. So, itatapon si Satanas sa lake of fire. And then magkakaroon ng great white throne judgment. Pag na-determine yung punishment ng mga taong i-judge, saka sila itatapon din sa lake of fire. Okay? O, ano pa mangyayari? Meron pa yung destruction of the planet. Nasa last days din yun. Saan nyo mababasa yung destruction of the earth? 2 Peter. Pakicheck nyo, 2 Peter chapter 3. The destruction of the earth. End time, end of the world. Nasa 2 Peter yata yan. 2 Peter chapter. Pakicheck nyo, tama ba yan?
3 verse 3.
2 Peter,
Yes.
verse 10, pakilasin 10.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
Yan, sige.
In the ways the heavens will pass away with a great noise.
Yeah. 2 Peter, chapter 3,
Verse 10.
hanggang 10 yan. 2 to 10 yan. Yan ang destruction ng mundo. Kailan yan? After millennium. After millennium yan. Palulusaw lahat ng heavenly bodies. Palulusaw including the planet Earth. And then, kailan yan? Pagkatapos ng Gog and Magog. Pagkatapos ng Great White Throne Judgment. Pag nalusaw yan, ayun, ito na. The new heaven and new earth. Saan yan new heaven and new earth? Dito na yan sa perfect age. After ng millennium, Gog and Magog, Great White Throne, destruction of the planet, and then perfect age. Or the new heaven and the new earth. Saan yan? Revelation chapter 21 up to 20. Okay. So verse 1, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more. Sa bagong earth na i-create ng Panginoon, wala ng oceans. Wala nang stop. Hindi rin naman tayo carnivores. Pwede naman tayo hindi na kumain. Tayo glorified. So, ano pong encouragement ito mga kapatid sa atin? Sabi ng Panginoon, Revelation 2, Behold, I come quickly and my reward. Malapit na siya magbalik at dala-dala niya ang gantimpala sa lahat ng mga matapat at nag-iipon. Sana ang ating manalangin, even so come, Lord Jesus. Magbalik ka na nga, Panginoon. At tumating na ang araw, yan. Ating revelation, ang ating glorification. But until then, hanggang hindi pa nagbabalik ang Panginoon ng kanyang bilin sa atin, occupy till I come. So lahat ng opportunity na dadaan sa ating buhay, at bilang sa iglesia, i-take advantage natin yan na may pangaral sa Kristo. Let us preach Christ by whatever means. Sa mga bata, sa tracts, sa testimony natin, do not stop preaching about Christ. Ang sabi niya sa atin, occupy till I come. At wala tayong karapatan magsawa dyan. Dahil wala akong katapusan yan. Hanggang sa kanyang pagkabalik. Pag tumalik naman na siya, ito na, alam natin mga mangyayari. Ang maganda ang ating estado sa kabilang buhay. Maganda ang ating estado sa pagbabalik ng ating Panginoon. Tayo na mga yagit ng sanglibutan, kasi sinasabi ngayon na poor in spirit, persecuted, we are mourning, thirsty, araw-araw, marireveal, we are sons of the King. Amen. Ang anak pala tayo ng Diyos, tayo mag-reveal, tayo mga magsusunod. No? So sana po tayo ay courage na tayo. Pati pa kayo, pati pa kayo. Hari ng ilang Diyos, mga bagay naman, salamat po for shedding light and giving us understanding of the panoramic view of the history of the future. Salamat naman sa mga bagay-bagay nito. Hindi namin nalaman naman na mabuti ang inyong plano para sa inyong mga pinili, para sa inyong pinili. Salamat naman sa mataas na antas nito. Binigay para sa amin, mas mataas pa kaysa anghel. That at the present order, He created us a little lower, and yet in the latter days of our life, we will be promoted over His angels. Salamat naman sa lahat ng pagpapalang ito. We do not deserve. Wala kaming ginawa ama na ma-earn ang mga bagay na and yet you have given all these things freely by your own grace. Sana po ang mga kabutihan ito yung masuklihan namin ang aming katapatan, ang aming pagpilipon. Sana naman hindi kami nakangay ng mga presence and conferences of life. Hindi kami masyadong ma-focus at alis ang aming concentration, attention sa things to come, the world to come. Sana maging kapag kami ang faithful sa mga dapat namin gawin, hindi lamang para sa aming mga buhay sa lupa, naging sa aming mga tungkulin. Palagi po ama ang inyong pansamantalang pag-walay. Sana po, bless rin po ang mga pinagbago pa ang gawain sa amin. Ang maraming pinabalik lahat ng kapalit salamat sa ngalan ng Panginoon Jesus. Amen. Ang mga po, kami natin ang sa amin.
Daddy?